What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. Casino will be over here in a couple of minutes. I just wanted to start without him to get the ball rolling. It is the Only Sports Podcast Super Bowl Spectacular, where we are talking all things Super Bowl. We are recording this Friday afternoon, so we are about 48 hours away from, or I guess 72 hours away from the Super Bowl. Between the 12, they finished the regular season 12-5 San Francisco 49ers and the 11-6 Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, the 49ers beat the Packers and then the Lions to get here. The Chiefs beat the Bills, the Ravens, and then the Dolphins to get here. So when Casino gets on here, we are going to both predict not only who wins, but what the final score will be. And then we're also going to do just my favorite thing about the Super Bowl is all the crazy, props you can do and just all the random stuff you can bet on. So me and Casino are going to do those and then try to build our five picks we will do for like a parlay card, right? If we're really confident on what the Gatorade color is, then that will be one of the five things we bet. But let's first talk about the game itself before we get into the nitty gritty of, what is going to be happening with the special bet. So we have the 49ers. If you've listened to this podcast or any of the clips before, I'm a numbers guy. So the numbers for this are the San Francisco 49ers, second in the league in total offense, eighth in total defense, fourth in passing, third in rushing. The offense of the Chiefs is ninth in total offense, second in total defense, sixth in total passing, and 19th in total rushing. So right here, you have the number 2 defense going against the number 2 offense. You obviously have the high-powered offense of the 49ers with McCaffrey, with Kittle, with Deebo Samuel, with Ayuk, with Juice Neck, with, I don't even think I'm saying his name right, but then you have Purdy. And then on the other side with the Chiefs, you have Kelsey, you have Rice, you have Mahomes, you have a much better, if we're just going to go break this down position by position, right? So obviously quarterback, it's no question, right? Me and Casino, both on this podcast, have defended Purdy, but we'll defend him as a good quarterback better than I feel like he is portrayed as in the media. But Mahomes is clearly right now, and maybe by the time he retires, the best quarterback of all time. But right now, he's the best quarterback in the league. So that one isn't even close. I feel the same way about but again, the it's not like we're watching, Patrick Mahomes and a third string guy on the Panthers, right? I still think Brock Purdy is this season and has the potential to stay a top 10 quarterback in the league, right? Top 5 might be pushing it, maybe top 7 is his ceiling, but still a top 10 quarterback in this league, right? With what we've seen with the offense, with the coaching, all that kind of stuff. So the gap's not insane because obviously Mahomes is 1. Purdy probably at the moment would be 10, 11 range. So yeah, it's not a huge gap. Next up with running backs, we're going to obviously pick McCaffrey over Pacheco, but on this one, I feel like the gap is wider than it is with Purdy Mahomes, but that's not an insult to Pacheco. I just think McCaffrey is a game changer, right? And he does so many things that other running backs can't do because you see McCaffrey play. He's as good of a receiver and an out of the backfield pass option as he is a runner, right? And that's very rare because usually you have, guys who are one or the other or all this kind of stuff. So next, and I think Casino is joining us. Perfect timing, Casino. He's being added to the stage, and he's got a baby.
I got a new background.
What's going on, Casino?
How's it going? Look at my new house I just bought.
I love it. That's not going to
Yeah.
mess up our connection at all.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Uh,
I was waiting for
but
you to add me
we're
on. I've been
we're
waiting since the
talking.
start. I've just been sending you messages.
Oh, I didn't even realize. But that was good because we got, I feel like the two you can't even debate out of the way, right? The better
Yeah.
running back is on the 49ers, better quarterbacks on the Chiefs.
Well, you said the
Now,
one thing that I can debate with you on all of that was you said that Mahomes is going to be the greatest of all time. Ah, fuck off. It's Brady.
I
I heard
mean,
that.
he's on pace. He's on pace. If
Yeah.
he, I saw this statistical thing where if he wins this Super Bowl, he's on pace to pass Brady. If he doesn't win this Super Bowl, he's on pace to tie him. So this also brings in like a legacy debate where also, I don't know if you saw this. I'm gonna be throwing a bunch of bets at you to make our Super Bowl parlay card.
Let's
But
do it.
as of this whole week, the 49ers, or I guess for 2 weeks, the 49ers have been 1.5 point favorites. At the moment, they are 2 point favorites. And then also you know how ESPN at the bottom of their screen does the chance to win, percentage to win. For 49ers are all the way up to 60%. Has something happened in the past 2 weeks where now all of a sudden the 49ers are favored
I
for
think it's just
everything?
where all the money's coming in at. That's it.
That
I think
all
there's
the money's
so many.
coming in on the 49ers?
No, all the money's coming in, I think, on the Chiefs to whichever way. From what I heard, the people on the radio talk about is all the bets are coming in like for the Chiefs, and like so that's messing with the line where now the Niners are gonna win. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
know
there
how.
is
I'll be
also
honest.
that.
I'm not really big on betting, so I'm not really sure how all that works. I know you are. You're bad at it, but I know you know how to do all the betting. I'm
If somebody says they're good at betting, I don't believe them. Because the people who are good at betting do not brag about being good at betting. The people who say they're good at betting means they won really big one time and have lost probably 5 times that trying
Hey,
to
that's like you
recreate
though.
that
That's
big win.
perfect.
Yeah, but see, I've never had big losses. I had one big win in my life, and then I'm very like $20 here or there, and then I had one big win, and I was like, that's my one time. I'm good. I'm not trying to chase the dragon, Casino. But let's move on position by position, Casino. So it's split right now. Let me do this. It's split 1-1 Chiefs and Niners. So now we go to the wide receivers. Again, I don't even think it's close. It's 49ers all day, right? Like, I mean,
What was split 1-1? Wait, I'm confused. What are you talking about?
with the Chiefs have the best quarterback, 49ers have the best running back.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. So then we go to wide receivers, and it's got to be, I mean, I don't even think it's a question, right? It's got to be just strictly wide receivers, not tight ends. Strictly wide receivers is 49ers,
Yes.
right? Because I can't name a second option for wide receiver for the Chiefs,
Yeah.
right? They have Rashid Rice. Obviously, Kelsey's their number one, Rice is their number two. Who would even be their number two wide receiver? I have no idea. I have no idea. I have their stats pulled up in front of me. And do you want to guess? I'm gonna name you three players. Pick which one was the second leading receiver on this team. Obviously, the first one was Kelsey. The second one was Rashid Rice. The third one is either between Valdez Scantling, Watson, or Mecole Hardman.
I'm gonna go Scantling.
No, see, it was Watson. So I would have never guessed that. But yeah, this is, I think, the biggest mismatch we're going to see in this game is obviously the 49ers have Ayuk and Samuel, and they have Jennings, who I only know who he is because he was talking shit about the Eagles as if he's not like the fourth option on this 49ers team, which is, again, weird, and which one of the things that makes the 49ers extremely unlikable. But next up, Casino. So that one goes 49ers. Next up, it's tight end, which if we were just going by regular season numbers, I mean, Kelsey, I feel like this year finally started to come back to earth as, he still had 93 receptions, 984 yards, and 5 touchdowns. But we talked about it during the season. There were multiple games where he just completely disappeared. Like, it was like we looked at his stat line after the game and it was like 2 receptions for 30 yards. Like,
Right. Do you think that's just more noticeable because they didn't have other options, so they had to keep going to him and going to him and going to him, and he was just burnt out? We've also talked about this is not Mahomes' best year either. So
yeah.
I, yes,
Well,
those numbers. He is down in production this year in the regular season, but I, I still don't. I still think he's pretty all right. I think a lot had to do with he was really the only option for them, and that's it. So he had ebbs and flows in his season. I am still going to go
yeah.
Kelsey
Well, also the crazy
over
thing.
Kittle.
Yeah. I'm still going to go Kelsey as well, even though if you look at Kittle's regular season numbers, they're better than Kelsey's. He had 65 receptions. Obviously, we just talked about how Kelsey had over 90, but he had more yards and 1 less touchdown with almost 30 less receptions.
Right.
And
But
obviously,
you're also
the
having
targets aren't even close.
But teams have to worry about more players. They have to worry about Debo, McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. They're having to keep their eyes. They have to keep their eyes a little bit more wide open and spread the double pressure around. And with Kelsey, it's double him, double him, double him, double him. So
Yeah.
Kittle's going to have a little bit more availability with that. So speaking of those two, did you like what I sent to you? The
Oh, yeah.
Talladega.
The Talladega Nights.
Yeah, that was good. That was funny. So for those,
I
if you
wish
guys
we
ever
could
seen,
share memes. Yeah.
yeah, if you guys were ever,
Like on the
if you've ever
podcast.
seen the movie Talladega Nights with John C. Riley and Will Ferrell, there's a part where Will Ferrell gets cut from the team and John C. Riley, like Will Ferrell comes home and now like he's with Will Ferrell's wife, and so it showed like little pictures of like the wife being Taylor Swift and Will Ferrell being Kelsey once he loses the Super Bowl, and George Kittle is now taking his wife. Oh, it was phenomenal. Whoever came up with that was a good one. That was a good one. That made me laugh.
And you know what?
Many times.
Not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, we
No,
don't know. That's
no.
not
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
Sorry,
that couldn't
Kelsey, you're no
happen.
longer the superstar. I'm going to go with the golden-haired locks of George Kittle.
But
Oh, and so
we
speaking
also
now that I'm here, I'm gonna tangent stuff. Did you see the video with Kittle saying at halftime? He's like, I can't wait to say, told you so when we came back or whatever it was, and like at halftime against the Lions, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good call out. The last time I heard that one, and like it was that significant where they were down big, was Julian Edelman when he told Tom Brady it's going to be a hell of a story when we come back and win this Super Bowl. And yeah, pretty great. So
I mean, if I was a football player and I was ever down, I would always just say that to the camera after every single game. So then no matter what, if we come back, it's like, oh, he called it. And if he don't call back,
wasn't just saying that to the camera. What I appreciated though, like as a leader, he went over and he was telling Purdy that. Like he was telling Purdy, like, hey, keep your head up. Like we're gonna come back, We'll get to tell him I told you so.
Comeback's going to be pretty good. That's what he was saying. That was an
you're a loser.
An exact quote.
My son just covered his face because of that. Oh no.
Shout out to Larry David and Curb Your Enthusiasm being back on the air.
Yes.
I'm going to miss it when it's gone. I fucking love that show.
It's fantastic.
next position battle, Casino, offensive line. And this one, I really think outside of Trent Williams on the 49ers, I think this is a Chiefs sweep like across the board. I don't
That's
think the
fair.
49ers
I think the
offensive
best,
line
yeah,
is good
best
at all.
offensive lineman in the game, though, in my opinion, is Trent Williams in the Super Bowl. But overall,
Yeah.
yeah, I would take the Chiefs on that.
But see, so Trent Williams, I think he's the best offensive lineman of the two groups, like obviously. But then when you put the entirety of the Chiefs line against the 49ers line, I don't think they have another player on the 49ers line that's better than anybody on the Chiefs line. I just think, especially when you look at, let's just switch right over because we both agreed it's Chiefs. When you switch over to the defensive line, I think the 49ers have a better defensive line, but I think the Chiefs defensive line is going to have more success. Does that make
Okay, yeah, that
sense?
was gonna
Like,
be
I
my
mean, you
next
have,
question. Then like, do you think that that's gonna end up in a stalemate on both sides, or one will punch through?
no, I think when you look at the Chiefs defensive line with Chris Jones, they have George Karlaftis, and they're just able and their ability to get penetration. Sounds like me in college. Get penetration and then also just pressure the quarterback. We've seen Purdy get flustered when he's kind of knocked out of rhythm. So if that 49ers, and especially because Chris Jones, obviously the best defensive player for the Chiefs, is not going to be going up against Trent Williams, right? He's going to have time to get pressure on Purdy, get him out of his rhythm. And then we know with the 49ers, they're susceptible to, if you knock them out of their rhythm, their kind of offensive identity falls apart because it's all about timing, right? So I don't know. And then the Chiefs, I mean, Mahomes is never touched, right? And because he's
Never,
a good
never.
scrambler, he's able to get out of the pocket. And then there is a stat out there when
That
Mahomes loses
90% of
most
that
of his
time when
games.
he does get on runs is because there's a hold. That's not called. Oh,
Yeah, there's also that. Yeah, he's not going to get, his line's not going to get called for holds. But also, there's
Matt
this
Patrick
crazy
Mahomes,
stat out
50-yard
there
run, 2 holds. What a
where
play!
if you sack Patrick Mahomes 3 times or more, you win the game like 80% of the time. So you just have to sack him 3 times. The issue is he's rarely ever sacked. So getting him 3 times is going to be a challenge. So when it comes to defensive line, we talked about the Chiefs. On the 49ers side, you got Bosa, you got Kinlaw, you got Armstead, you got Hargrave, and then you got Chase Young, who they traded for, which I don't know if we talked about it in that Lions 49ers game. Did you see that play where Chase Young could have tackled the Lions running back like going into the end zone and instead just like stops running and basically just like he literally could have tackled him, but he just stops running and just let the guy run right past him. And he
He's
was kind of
lazy.
just like, I
There's
mean, well,
there's reports out there's
that's
reports
probably why they
out there that
traded
he's
him.
pretty lazy.
Yeah. But it was also one of those things where it was like, this is a crucial part of the game. And if you guys keep him out of the end zone, like that was when the blowout was en route, right? So it just felt like, I don't know, that was left a sour taste in my mouth. But all that being said, Casino, are we
Sounds
still
like you in
both
college.
agreeing? Exactly. Sour taste in my mouth, penetration. Are we still picking the 49ers for defensive line?
Sure, I agree with you.
Just like in college. Next up, we're going linebackers, and on the Chiefs, it's Nick Bolton, it's Willie Gay Jr., which was Casino's nickname in college.
I was waiting for it.
But but then on the 49ers side, we have Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner. I mean, I would, if as an Eagles fan, I would love either combination of any linebacker on either of these teams because for some reason the Eagles organization just doesn't believe in having linebackers just on your roster, not even on the field, just in the game. I don't know. But I think we have to go 49ers, even though I love Fred Warner, I love Dre Greenlaw, but I feel like when you talk about the 49ers defense this year, I feel like those guys have been less impactful than they have in the past this season.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Uh, and that being said, they have Warner had 132 tackles this year. Greenlaw had 120, but both of them less than 3 sacks, less than 10 tackles for losses. So again, they're playing cleanup in the middle of the field and tackling, but I feel like in years past they were disruptive in the pass game. They were tackling for loss. They had sacks. They had fumble recoveries. And this year it's kind of just all tackles. I mean, Warner has 4 forced fumbles, but none recovered. So I don't know. Again, just like college, as we talked about, sour taste in my mouth. I don't know, but I'm still picking them. Disagree with that, Casino?
Nope.
Or all right, Casino's got a baby.
Yeah. No, it's a thing. He's here. Hi. Only way I can do this show because my daughter and him, their sleep schedules are way off right now. So, and I can't do it with her. We've all found that out. She's all yelling up in my ear and wanting to take the headphones. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, my son just tried to interrupt us, and I just pushed him away, and he ran. But
Father of the year.
But next up, last 2 position battles, Casino. We have defensive back for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have 2 of the PFF best rated corners in the league in L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie. Then on the 49ers side, they have Charvarius Ward, and that's pretty much it. So
aren't both of these teams in the top 5 scoring defenses in the league?
Yes. So again, when you break it down position by position, I feel like it goes back and forth. But as units, obviously, the Chiefs, as we just talked about earlier, the Chiefs are the 2nd best defense in the league. The 49ers are the 8th best defense. So it's not like either of these defenses are bad. It's just that the 49ers, more so than the Chiefs, have like one star player at each position, and then kind of it falls off after them, where the Chiefs are much more well-rounded in terms of they have 2 good quarters instead of 1. They have 2 really good guys on the defensive line instead of
I mean,
one.
we've talked about this defense. This defense is the reason they could win the Super Bowl. That's what we talked about when the playoffs started. It's showing.
Yeah. Well, and remember, we also talked about when it came to the 49ers, like the issues they would have is all their star players were injury prone. So if all of them could stay healthy for the season, they would be in the NFC Championship game, in the Super Bowl. And then this season, Kittle played all 16 games. Debo played 15 games. McCaffrey played 16 games. And again, the 2 games that McCaffrey and Kittle missed were the last game of the season where they just sat out. It wasn't from injury. And then obviously Purdy, he got banged up in a couple games, but same thing where he played all 16 games that they didn't sit out. So then when you look at the 49ers defense, they have Ward, they have Lenore, and then they also have Hufanga as a safety, and then Brown back there as well. But I think you just have to pick the Chiefs just strictly based on their 2 all-pro cornerbacks, right? And then they also have like McDuffie and just
definitely against I mean, yes, it's his 2nd year, as a starter, but big moment for him. I believe in him. I believe in Purdy, but that's a big moment where you have 2 snipers out in the backfield or out in the secondary waiting for you.
Yeah. The only thing you can say against the Chiefs defense is they don't really take the ball away. Like if you look at them on the season, they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have only 8 interceptions on the entire season. That's not just cornerbacks, that's their entire defense. So I don't have the stats pulled up in front of me, but that seems insanely low. Like that seems bottom of the rung in terms of like turn. Now, obviously, if you're the Chiefs, you're always going to be high in turnover differential because Mahomes doesn't turn over the ball.
Turn it
But
over.
still,
Yeah.
that seems ridiculously low for especially the second best ranked defense in the league. So we're both going Chiefs on that one, Casino. And then it comes down to it's tied 4-4 with position by position. It comes down to which kicker do you trust more? You have the rookie on the Chiefs side, or no, I'm sorry, the rookie on the 49ers side who has not missed I think let me pull it up right now.
Yeah,
In
he's been
Moody,
spectacular.
where he's made 21 of 25, 84% completion percentage on the season. His long was 57. He's only missed one extra point all season, which is pretty good because obviously they made those harder the past couple of years. He's 2 for 3 from 50 yards. And then on the other side, you have Harrison Butker, Casino's nickname in college. And he has Willie Gay Butker. But he is 38 out of 30 point on extra 38 out of 38 on extra points. 33 out of 35 on field goal attempts. So you have two kickers that are almost
But
as
I'm going
automatic as
Butker
you
all
can
day
get.
because what's Butker's range and how many has he hit over 50? Because you're saying Moody's only 2 for 3. I want to know what.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter for me. I was going to pick Buckner anyway. For me, Buckner, I think, has he's going to be much calmer under pressure. And to my knowledge, he does kick over 50 fairly often, fairly comfortably. So, and he hasn't missed an extra point. Like, yeah, I think anything within 40 is like pretty much automatic for him. And then once you get into the 50s, I still think his percentage is pretty good. You're looking it up. We can figure that out. But while you do that and you move on to the next thing, this guy has been up for about 2 hours. It's time for him to go lay down. So you continue this.
Yeah. So I am looking it up right here. I had this pulled up, but of course, I don't know what happened. But yeah, so I agree with Casino, where I think we have seen throughout the season and seasons before this that Butker is as automatic as anybody in the league. So, you know what? I don't even care. I'm not looking it up. But Butker, I do think, also has been in this moment before. He's made big playoff kicks. Not saying that Moody hasn't, but just Butker has been on the biggest stage, game on the line, all the lights, and that stuff gets to you, as we've seen with Bills kickers and Vikings kickers and all that kind of stuff. So with a final score of 5-4, much closer than I thought it would be, actually, but 5-4 going position by position. It looks like the Chiefs have the edge over the 49ers, 5-4. Obviously, I think the lead, if we're going to just talk about coaching, I think you would also, and I don't think Casino would disagree with me, you also have to give it to Andy Reid, right? We've seen him in Super Bowls. He lost the one time by 3 points against the Patriots dynasty, and then he lost against Tom Brady again. So he's 0-2 against Tom Brady, 2-0 against everybody else. He might be 3-0 against everybody else. So if your only losses in the Super Bowl are against the best player we've ever seen in the Super Bowl, I don't think that can be a negative against you, right? So I think if we want to throw coaching in there as well, it'll make the lead more. It'll be 6-4 Chiefs. And then obviously you can get to like special teams and return men and all that kind of stuff if you want to get that deep into it. All right, Casino. Now that we have broken it down by position, it is time to make our official picks for the Super Bowl. And just to recap, you guessed 3 right in the wild card round. I guessed 2. I guessed all of them right in both the divisional and championship round. You went 2-2 and then 0-2. So the postseason records are you are 5-7. I am 8-4. So I don't know why my picking games ability only happens in the postseason, but
Because you're in on it. You're in on the
I'm here
rigging.
for it.
You're in on the
I am a
script.
script writer. Yeah, I wrote this script and they rejected what I had because I just had, how about the Eagles just go to the Super Bowl and blow everybody out by 9 touchdowns each game? And for some reason, they said no. But what we're going to do, Casino, is you're going to be able to get 3 points in the Super Bowl by correctly predicting who wins and then the score of the game. So who's ever closer with the 49ers final score and the Chiefs final score, you get a point. This is the only way we can make it fair, where we have shots, or you have a shot, Casino. So let's start with you first. Who do you think is winning this Super Bowl, the 49ers or the Chiefs?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, there will be no difference here because I am also picking the Kansas City Chiefs. So what do you think they win by? What is their final score?
I think it's going to be 21-17.
21-17. Close to what their first matchup was. That one ended 31-21, right? I believe so.
That's not close at all.
I mean, one of the numbers is 21-17. I think I am leaning towards.
I think it's gonna be a low scoring game.
I do too, and I think I'm going to be similar to you, but I'm actually picking less scoring. I'm gonna say it's a 17-10 game. The Chiefs win. I just think when you look at what this Chiefs team did to the Ravens, where they just held them to
that's a
nothing.
That's a slap to Christian McCaffrey. Just that.
I would say he is the one who gets the touchdown. So I don't think it's
obviously.
But then again, we just talked about it. I think this game ends up because everybody's going into it expecting like shootout, fireworks show, all this kind of stuff. I think it's going to be a very slow plotting game where like nobody is really getting anything going.
And that's what I've talked about is both of these teams, they're not making mistakes. They are playing smart football, and they weren't the 2 best teams. Obviously, they're in the Super Bowl, but in my mind, they weren't the 2 best teams in the playoffs this year. I mean, yes, they made the Super Bowl. They did, but they did what they had to do, and they were smart when it came to playing football. So they were just the 2 best all arounds on each side, and they played smart football. And I think they're going to continue to play smart football in the Super Bowl. And it's going to be a really big chess match.
Yeah. This one oddly reminds me of that Rams Patriots Super Bowl, right? Where it was like Rams were going into that game as the best offense in the league, and everybody was expecting fireworks with obviously the Patriots because of what we'd seen the year previously where they played the Eagles, and it was like both teams almost scored 50. And then that game was just boring, low scoring, like you said, chess match, little things here and there. And I feel like this game has that written all over it. But both of us are picking a low scoring game. You have the total of the game being 38. I have it being 27. The over under on this game right now is 47.5. I feel like there's no chance it goes even close to over. Unless,
Yeah.
again, it's like that Eagles Patriots Super Bowl where all of a sudden both teams score damn near
So
100
I'm down
points.
3, so no matter what, I'm gonna lose. So
But you
congratulations.
can still tie.
No, I
No, you
can't.
can't. But
Congratulations.
uh, we got about 10, 15 minutes here, Casino. I'm just going to throw out random shit you can bet on during this Super Bowl, and you tell me your pick and whatever rationale. You imagine you are betting on this for your life. Okay. So, whatever logic you need to dictate to save your own life, this is what will save your life. Okay. So, we are who wins? What is the coin toss? Heads or tails?
Tails. No.
Okay. And
Nope.
also,
Nope.
I'm
Nope.
I'm
Nope.
writing this down.
Heads. I'm going heads. Sorry. Heads.
Heads.
Heads. Heads.
Okay.
Heads.
Just to
Yep.
be contrarian, I will go tails.
I'm going heads.
Team.
Thank you, Matthew Slater. You picked heads in the Super Bowl. It's heads. It's heads. It's always heads.
Team to win the coin toss, Chiefs or 49ers?
Well, I mean, Chiefs.
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna go 49ers. Everything you pick
That
that there's no real logic to, I'm just gonna pick opposite. But now this one, there could be logic to it, so I want you to think logically about it. Color of first Gatorade poured on head coach. This is a big
fruit
one. This is a
fruit
big
punch.
one.
Fruit punch.
The favorite going into this game is purple, strictly because that's the Super Bowl color. Is purple this year.
Fruit punch.
Next up would be red.
Red.
Third
Fruit punch.
option, yellow and green. Orange,
My life is on the
blue,
line. I
clear.
said red. Fruit punch. Write it down.
Red fruit punch. I think it's too obvious to be purple. I'm gonna go. You know what? Sometimes it's just obvious. I'm going purple. You're going red. I'm going purple. We already did. Will this game be a scoregami game? Right. So scoregami is where it's just a score we've never seen before. We both said no because our scores are pretty regular.
Yeah.
So
there's no safeties happening.
Okay, this one, I know how you love math, Casino, but you need to get out your little math abacus and just start moving those little tiles back and forth. Combined touchdown scorer jersey numbers. So everyone who scores a touchdown in the Super Bowl, all their numbers combined. Okay? Over 121 or under 121? While you're doing that math, I'm going under.
Under.
Because if you think about it, McCaffrey's what? He's like 25,
McCaffrey,
I
Kelsey,
think is his number.
McCaffrey, Kelsey, Mahomes.
That would be
Pachenko.
See, if Pacheco was in there, that would be over. So, but if it's that three combination you just did, what? Mahomes?
15.
Now I am getting out a calculator. So 15 plus 87 plus McCaffrey's 25. It'd be
32.
127. So that number would be 121.
Yeah, I'm going. Going over. Going over.
Actually, yeah. Now that we're doing the math,
stop.
That means
Stop
that means that only 2 touchdowns would need to be scored. But again, if it's all running backs, then it's like less than 50, right? So, no, you know what? You're going over. I'll still go under because I think we both agree it's going to be a low scoring game. So who knows? Let's go on to the Super Bowl specials. Does either team kick a game-winning walk-off field goal at the end of normal time? So that just means not in OT.
No.
A field goal to win the game at the end.
No.
You go no. I also go no. I don't think it'll be that close, and I don't see it being a 3-point game. Length of longest drive. Over 77.5 yards or under 77.5 yards?
Under. These defenses aren't going to let that play go.
No, I don't think either of these teams, I don't think either of the defenses will allow that long of a drive to happen for either offense, right? This one, just simple pick 'em. Most time of possession.
Mm, I'm gonna go San Fran.
I agree. I feel like if Kansas City wins, it's going to be by quick shots, right? Not like just doing sustained drives up and down.
Mm,
Uh okay, this is good. This is very good. What will be higher? The length of the longest field goal made or the total points in game? So will like if it's obviously if people are just hitting 55-yard field goals back and forth, that is way more than total points of the game.
I'm going
The
field goal.
total points would be, or no, I'm sorry, what?
I'm going field goal.
I think I am as well. Because again, if somebody hits one 50-yard field goal, that means combined both these teams have to hit 50 points. I don't think that's happening. Uh will there be more passing touchdowns or field goals made?
Passing touchdowns.
Passing touchdowns. I think I would go field goal on that one. I'm going to
Go
go
for
field goal. I'm going field
Don't
goal.
let me sway you.
That's true. Some of these are, I mean, these ones are like obvious. I don't think any of us think this is going to happen. Super Bowl records. Either Purdy or Mahomes passed for 7 touchdowns.
No.
This one maybe. Does any player have over 205 rushing yards?
No.
I don't think so either. Last one, does any player score 4 or more touchdowns?
No.
No. Let's end with a bang, Casino. We're going to end with, I'm using just DraftKings to look this up. We're going to end with a category they've said that's for the Swifties. Okay, which I know you're a big Swifty. So let's end on a high note, Casino.
Well, I will make one up for you if it's not already in. I got one for you.
Okay. You know what? Do yours. What's
No,
yours?
I want to hear them. I want to see if it's
okay.
it.
I don't know what this has to do with Taylor Swift, but also I'm not a Swiftie, so apparently this has some significance. Any quarter to have 22 points scored.
No.
I don't think so either. What's the significance of 22 with Taylor Swift?
I don't know.
I've
Ask your
never heard
wife.
that before.
I don't fucking listen to Taylor Swift. Your wife does.
Travis Kelce to score an octopus.
What?
I think an octopus means a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, right? Because it's 8. I think that's what DraftKings.
Yeah,
Again,
no.
we live in Nevada, so we can't use
No.
DraftKings. So I think
Yeah,
that means
no.
8.
No, because I don't think there's
This
a 2-point
one,
conversion.
of all the Swifty ones, these next two I could see happening. These ones, the other ones were dumb, but these last two I could see. Kansas City Chiefs to win by exactly 11 points.
I could see that because I could see
There's
a
a possibility.
21-10. I could see a 21-10.
Yeah.
What did I say? What I said 21-17?
Yeah.
So I could see 21-10. And again, so that means there's the one field goal by San Fran that I think is going to be over 50. There we go. That's how I'm.
That one might be spicy. That one's also 3,000 or plus 3,000. So you're getting some value there. Last one. Now, again, if he does this, of course they're going to win. But the question is, will he do this? Brock Purdy, over 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns or more, and 49ers win.
No.
I don't see that either, but that one's only plus 1,000. So that one is not as juicy as the win by 11 one. But
I mean, I hope
also,
I
I feel
lose
like that's
all of
much
these
harder.
because I want Purdy to win. I don't want the Chiefs to win.
Yeah. I don't know who I want. I think I want the Chiefs to win more than I want the 49ers, but I more just want the 49ers to lose, not necessarily the Chiefs to win, right? But what's your final final question. This can be anybody on either team. Who is the Super Bowl MVP?
Patrick Mahomes.
You don't think they would give it to Kelsey?
No, quarterback.
I'm going Kelsey. I just think it would be a perfect middle finger to everyone this football season if he wins Super Bowl MVP.
All right. So this is kind of a perfect segue because my bet has Kelsey in it. Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Do you think Travis Kelce proposes to Taylor Swift on field with confetti coming down?
Ooh.
Especially if he wins MVP. He's up there. He's getting the MVP trophy. He's getting the MVP trophy. There's confetti coming all down. Fans are cheering. Taylor Swift gets up there. The crowd's rocking. He gets down on one knee. He opens up a special compartment that he already had inside of the MVP trophy and pops that out. The Lombardi trophy opens up and turns into it's like that Harry Potter thing. The egg opens up and there's a ring just in the middle. And, and then the NFL can say, no, we didn't know that the Chiefs were going to win. We didn't have a very special Lombardi trophy that opens up with the Taylor Swift wedding engagement ring.
I mean, you know what? You just painted a beautiful picture. I'm going to say he wins MVP and that happens. I'm going yes. Your thoughts, Casino? Your own question. You saying yes or no?
I'm going to say no because I want. But I would just say no, but it'd be really funny if he did and she said no.
Oh, that would be bad.
But it breaks down in a concert, where it's just a whole concert, right after the Super Bowl, and he asks, and the song's called No. And she says that it's about, and she says it's about and she says it's about something else and not the Super Bowl. Sorry.
This is not on the betting thing. This is just you threw out a question. I'm going to throw out a question. Over or under? Okay, over or under 8.5 times they show Taylor Swift during the entire game.
Over. I mean, it'll be 5 seconds, but they'll do it.
They'll show it more than, so you're saying 9 times. I'm going to say under because I think the number's 8. That's why it locked in my head. I think it's 8 times. You think about it, that's 2 per quarter. Yeah, I'm going 8 times. 8 times.
During game.
During game. Yes. All right, Casino. Anything else? Any thoughts? Anything else to add on this Super Bowl extravaganza?
No, but do have a little touch on. I touched on a little bit of the NHL. The Knights did stop the historic run of the Oilers where they could have tied and then ended up winning, and then succeeding. So that was awesome. They do not have that streak.
Everybody
so that made me really, really happy.
When I was at work, everybody was super excited to watch that game, and then it was on fucking ESPN Plus, and everybody was mad. I hate ESPN Plus. God damn you. Damn you,
That's
ESPN
fine.
Plus.
I mean, I did watch it. I made sure that I pulled up the ESPN Plus, and my work made sure that they pulled up the ESPN Plus as well. But let's see, where the Oilers, do they play tonight, I think? Yeah, so the Oilers play the Ducks tonight at 7. So if they win tonight, they would have won the record if they beat the Knights.
Damn.
That
is crazy.
I mean, the only reason I'm bringing it up, and I know I'm a Knights fan, but that was a historic stop because the Oilers, like I said, Anaheim, not the best team this year. They're only 18-30-2. That Edmonton should walk over Anaheim, walk over them. So the Knights stopping them from reaching history. So, and last year, as you know, I talked about it, that the Knights Oilers series, whoever won that was going to win the Stanley Cup. And I still stay true to that today. So, man, the Oilers are not happy with the Knights stopping them from getting a Stanley Cup because I would have put all my money on the Knights or the Oilers. I don't bet, but I would have, to win the Stanley Cup last year, and the Knights did, and then stopping them from, setting a massive win streak record, best in the NHL. That made me feel really, really happy. So that did happen. I do think that was significant to bring up, because it stops history, which was rolling.
Yeah. And a week from today, there's going to be no football. So we will officially start talking about.
Well, no, next
both.
week. Yes. But next week, we do have a very, very important segment that we got to get to, sir.
That's true. It is the return of the Willies. And
whoa.
I just realized.
Whoa. Not just the Willies.
What else is it?
It's Willies in the casino's ball sack. Or ballroom, or whatever it is.
Whoa.
Come on.
Whoa. Also just realized this entire time my microphone
just say ball
has been
sack.
off.
I don't know.
My microphone has been off, so if the audio is messed up, that's why. I literally just realized that as we're about to end the show. So that's great. But this has been the Only Sports Podcast Super Bowl Extravaganza. Casino, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you about this Super Bowl?
I'm going to go 3, and that is the same number as how I thought this show went today.
Interesting, because I was going to say 4. Same reason. So this has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. We'll see you next week to talk all things Super Bowl, and then we'll start doing the preparations for the Willies live from the casino ballroom. So it's going to be great. I wanted to talk about the NFL honors, but we didn't have time. Apparently, though, Casino, coming back from the dead, less impressive than coming back from playing on the Jets. What an indictment on the Jets organization. Joe Flacco won Comeback Player of the Year over Damar Hamlin. So being on the Jets is worse than being dead. This has been the Podcast. We'll see you next week.